today we're going to be talking about the third R, which is replace. This is the part when I first talked about in the first session that the certain population of people who may not digest their food well. Well, we live in a very stressed out world. So we will deplete our stomach acid over time. We can deplete it when we're young due to how much stress is in one's life and how we perceive stress. So also as we age, if we get in our 70s and 80s, by then our stomach acid is pretty low. So we're going to talk about the stomach acid as being a major issue. You may feel, so some examples would be, you may feel full after a few bites of food, especially protein, and then maybe an hour later you're hungry again. This could be related to low stomach acid. Maybe you have acid reflux, maybe you don't. It's not necessarily a symptom. You may binge on foods because you feel like you never get full. Stomach acid should be like battery acid in our stomach. It helps the body rid the body of viruses, bacteria, yeast before it even touches the gut lining to even destroy it. When we have low stomach acid, your intestines are more, let me back up, your stomach is actually more alkaline, and then your intestines become more acidic. So when your intestines are more acidic, that's when bacteria, viruses, and candida, things like that, will flourish. So stomach acid also helps with muscle mass. It breaks down protein. If we absorb protein very well, we also reduce our anxiety levels that many of us have. And we can get anxiety if we don't break our enough protein into these small particles called amino acids, which is the smallest particle size it can be broken down into. We recommend taking something called betaine HCl, and you would take this after a protein meal. We do this a lot in our office as a test to see if you have low stomach acid or not. And with this betaine HCl, it actually naturally raises your stomach acid. Some of you may have heard of Bragg's apple cider vinegar, and you would take a teaspoon up to a tablespoon with a big glass of water, and you could take that after the meals too. That will also do the same thing, but a lot of us don't want to carry around, vinegar. We're going out to eat and things like that. So what we tend to do with our clients is we have them take about 700 milligrams of the betaine HCl after a meal just to start with. And then if you notice a warm sensation or maybe get an acid reflux feeling after taking it, you're producing enough stomach acid. If you don't have any reactions, then that tells us that you have low stomach acid and we need to do something about it. Another thing that we suggest is taking pancreatic enzymes. And we do this 5 minutes prior to the meal. And with our bodies being typically insulin resistant, meaning the sugar is not getting inside our cell to create the energy that our body needs. And that is because of our poor diet or stress. There's this big Great Wall of China that builds around our cell walls. And so our pancreas is not secreting the enzymes to break down our food. So the enzymes that we're consuming through a pill actually will help break down that food better. And the reason that we say 5 minutes before the meal is because that way it gives the enzymes enough time to get down to the gut by the time the food gets there, and then you can break it down much better. Now, I've had a lot of patients tell me, I forgot to take it. I remembered at the start of the meal. That's fine too. It's better than not taking anything at all. Other lifestyle factors is, we eat fast, we're drinking with our meals, we're standing when we're eating in the car, we're eating while we're working. So we're really not in the moment paying attention to, what we're eating at that moment. I ask people what they had for dinner, they don't even remember, and it was just last night's meal. So some tips for trying to eat slower, because we tend to eat really fast, is maybe eating with chopsticks, eating with the opposite hand that you don't write with. That will help slow it down, putting the fork down in between bites. Those are it's a big challenge, but I know it works. The other component is to not drink with your meals, and everyone usually does. So the rule on that is you drink 5 minutes prior to the meal. You can have up to a half a cup with the meal, and typically you want to wait about 15 minutes after the meal to drink. And what's happening is if you're drinking, 8 ounces, 12 ounces of fluid with a meal, you're diluting that stomach acid. And then now we're not breaking down our food like we should be. So that's my rule on that. And that is also the replace segment. And stay tuned for the repopulate, which Sam is going to be talking about. Thank you.